So basically, if we talk about Syed Ahmed Barelvi, so he has been also one of the religious reformers, just like Shah Waliullah. So today we are going to discuss the biography of Syed Ahmed Barelvi. We are going to discuss his beliefs, and also we are going to discuss his work. That what has he done for the people? How has he been important to the people? That is the thing that we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, ji. So talking about Syed Ahmed Barelvi, he was born near Lucknow in a small town of Rai Bareli in 1786. His father died when he was young. He also joined Madrasa Rahimia and he graduated as an Islamic scholar from Madrasa Rahimia. So if we talk about Syed Ahmed Barelvi, he has also been on the same footing as that of Shah Waliullah. So that is going to be a brief introduction. Once you are going to answer the question of Syed Ahmed Barelvi, so you are going to require a brief introduction, and the brief introduction is going to be of Syed Ahmed Barelvi that you can get it from here very easily. In 1806, he went to Delhi and enrolled in Madrasa Raimia. For 2 years, he studied under the sons of Shah Waliullah. He learned the Holy Quran and Hadiths. However, more than a scholar, Syed Ahmed Barelvi was like a man of action. He believed in action. He believed in controlling the people and controlling the things around. So basically, in the year 1810, he joined the forces of Nawab Amir Khan. Actually, Nawab Amir Khan was a Pathan military leader who used to train people how to use European weapons and how to be a soldier. He was having his kind of like training academy for the people where he used to teach the people how to be a soldier. So during this period of life, he learned the use of European weapons. He made himself so perfect that he was given the command of a group of soldiers. So much perfect he made himself that he was given the command of a group of soldiers. And because of his pious nature, he was made responsible for leading the troops in prayers. In 1817, Syed Ahmed returned to Delhi. Actually, he was there in Madrasa Rahimia. So now he returned to Delhi, and here his work was to restore Islam to its original purity. So he started the reforms in Islamic circle, and basically at that time, as Shah Waliullah had done the reforms, Islamic reforms, similarly, he also introduced Islamic reforms. During his time as well, the people were away from the teachings of Islam. They had forgotten the Islamic culture and the traditions. So basically, Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi was the person who came up with the idea that Islam should be restored and the Muslims should now again be remembering that what were the important teachings of Islam and how are they required to be remembered. Talking about the beliefs of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi, so what he believed that freedom of the Muslims could only be achieved as a result of armed struggle against the foreign and non-Muslim forces which were oppressing them. So basically, the belief of Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi was that if you are going to fight against the non-Muslim forces, then only you will be successful against them. If you are not going to fight against the non-Muslim forces, it is going to be nearly impossible to be successful against them. So this turned out to be one major issue wherein Syed Ahmad Barelvi, or you can say this turned out to be one major belief of Syed Ahmad Barelvi, that how he basically motivated the people for an armed struggle. He said, if the Muslims they want freedom, they want to dominate the non-Muslim forces, they require armed struggle. That is jihad is required to be fought. He believed that there was a need to end the evil forces who were corrupting the society, and this could only have been done if basically uh, an armed struggle, jihad, was started against the non-Muslim forces. So talking about the work or the effort of Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi, in the year 1821, he went to Hajj. Acha, this was on the similar footing as that of Shah Waliullah. Also, if you guys remember, Shah Waliullah had also went for Hajj. So he also went to Hajj. Before going for Hajj, he held a meeting with his leaders and spread his belief. He said, my idea is to spread jihad amongst the people, and we should be teaching the people that they should be fighting jihad. He started the jihad movement against the non-Muslim forces. He believed that once this was done, Islam could be revitalized. So this was his belief that if Islam was to be revitalized, then jihad movement was required to be started. If jihad movement was started, then only the non-Muslim oppression and this stuff could have been controlled. So this was the idea of Shah Waliullah. So what he did, he toured Punjab and North Frontier to pick out men who were going to fight against the Sikhs. Acha, the area of struggle, if you talk about, so the area of struggle of Shah Waliullah has been Delhi. However, if you talk about the area of struggle of Syed Ahmed Barelvi, so the area of struggle of Syed Ahmed Barelvi has been Punjab and North Frontier, and his war was against Raja Ranjit Singh. He has fought against Raja Ranjit Singh against the Sikh, because Raja Ranjit Singh was oppressing the Muslims of Punjab. He was creating troubles for the Muslims of Punjab. At that point of time, Syed Ahmed Barelvi came at the upfront and he fought for the Muslims of Punjab. He traveled thousands of miles to raise a force of soldiers which were called as Mujahideen. Acha, the soldiers who were there in his force were called as the Mujahideen. He established his headquarters near Peshawar. So basically, he raised an army against the Sikh people, and after raising his army, he basically established a headquarter of the army, and there were then army was spread over all across Punjab, and the purpose was to help the Muslims fighting against the oppression of the Sikh. He fought many battles against the Sikhs. His army was defeated. Acha, what happened? Ke, although he fought many battles and he also won various battles, but what happened? Ke his army commander, the name of his army commander was Yar Muhammad. So his army commander was being bribed by the Sikh people. So due to the bribery, Yar Muhammad, during a war, he sided with the Sikhs and he revealed all the war strategies. So due to the dishonesty of Yar Muhammad, Syed Ahmed Barelvi could not survive and he was martyred at Balakot along with 600 other soldiers or Mujahideen, what you call is, and this happened in the year 1831. Now the question here arises, why did Syed Ahmed Barelvi start over this movement? So the movement was to basically help the Muslims getting freedom from the non-Muslim forces and to help the Muslims to survive. This movement was started in which year? This movement was started after he arrived back from Hajj in the year 1821. Usually in the examination, a question comes for 7 marks, that why did Syed Ahmed Barelvi start the jihad movement? If a question comes for 7 marks, then in such scenario, you are required to mention the objectives of Mujahideen movement. What were the objectives? The objectives were to preach unity of Almighty Allah, to revive the teachings of Islam, and to prepare the Muslims to pass their lives simply according to the teachings of Islam. Actually, at that time, this is something that we had discussed. The Muslims were away from the teachings of Islam. The Muslims were had forgotten what Quran has said, what Sunnah has said, and there were many other things. At that point of time, Syed Ahmed Barelvi, he started over with this movement, and the purpose was not only to enable the Muslims to fight against the non-Muslims, but also to enable the Muslims to lead their lives, to live their lives simply according to the teachings of Islam. Another purpose was to protect the Muslims against such acts and ideas which were contrary to Islamic values. So his another purpose was to protect the Muslims against the ideas or the actions which were against Islam. Like for example, if the if the Muslims were going to adopt the teachings or the culture or the values of the Hindus or the Marathas or the Sikhs, at that point of time, the jihad movement was going to enable the Muslims to be in synchronization with Islam only. इसके अलावा to protect the Muslims from worship of all other things except Allah was another purpose of this jihad movement. So why he preached jihad? He preached jihad because it was not possible to get freedom from evil forces without armed struggle. Armed struggle के बगैर evil forces say freedom lena, it was not possible. So this is why basically uh, he started over with the Mujahideen movement. Okay. So, talking about the jihad movement, it has been regarded by many historians as it was an initiative of the Pakistan movement in India. The efforts of Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi had been an inspiration to all Muslims who had been involved in defending their religion, their culture, and their freedom. The Muslims who later campaigned for a separate homeland, they actually got the idea for fighting for their cause from Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi, because they realized that Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi had given them the idea if they want to fight for their cause, then the best thing was to fight an armed struggle against the non-Muslims. So what kind of a question comes? Usually a question comes for 7 marks asking you about the jihad movement. Yeah, why did Sayyid Ahmed start the jihad movement? If this kind of a question comes in the examination, you will be required to write down first paragraph, introductory paragraph, wherein you will be writing down a brief background of the jihad movement. The jihad movement was started by Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi in the year 1821 after he returned from pilgrimage. And then you are going to write down the second paragraph wherein you are going to state the objectives of the jihad movement.